So we're here with my new friend Clyde, a home builder in Dallas. I do wish they had 5 or 6 more can lights in it.
Yeah, we're just gonna replace all of them.
Yeah, I've never met anyone with as much self-control as me on anything except ice cream and cars. I can't say no.
When you open that door, it hit it. So I'm like, bro, we can't have that. Somebody already wanted to see it yesterday. And I'm like, no way. There's no way I'm showing this house. Not until it's done.
Previously on the Healthy Insurance Dude podcast, Dallas homebuilder Clyde Kemp enlightened us on how and where to network and find insights about the fix and flip industry. Clyde also gave us a partial interior tour of the multi-million-dollar luxury home that he's building in North Dallas.
Good.
This is incredible.
Almost $3 million bucks, you know, a little over $3 million.
You also can't buy a truck for less than $100,000 either.
100%. It's crazy.
Right.
It's crazy.
It's nutty out there. Everybody thinks they're valuable, but what do we say? Knowledge is more valuable than money.
Exactly. There's a real estate group, or RIA, Real Estate Investing Association.
Okay.
Go to those.
No shit.
Learn as much as you can learn.
Time will tell them, 'cause I know I'd prove them wrong.
The Healthy Insurance Dude podcast, life-changing insight on entrepreneurship, leadership, parenting, life, and happiness.
I was made to be a legend for the kingdom.
On this episode of the Healthy Insurance Dude podcast, we'll get a more in-depth tour of the straight-lane luxury home that Dallas homebuilder Clyde Kemp is currently working on. And then he and Perry will reminisce over some of the lessons learned about team management.
I was born to win.
Expert and inspirational stories from featured guests, by you and for you.
I was born to win.
So we're here with my new friend Clyde, a home builder in Dallas.
Yes, sir.
I know you don't have the problem with contractors coming to work at your house.
Oh my goodness. I wish.
I got my bathroom remodeled. I went through 3 contractors just to get my bathroom remodeled.
Right,
and that doesn't
right.
count the 5 that never showed up in the beginning.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. A lot of people they're not motivated. They're not self-motivated. And that's one thing that I love about my crew. A lot of my main crew. We've got a lot of guys that aren't, our main crew, because we're expanding. We're doing a lot. But my main crew, man, they take pride in their work. They want to. Miss Clyde, yesterday, my AC guys, Mr. Clyde, I need you at the house, this one. Like, can't you just FaceTime me? No, I need you here. I need to explain something. Just talk to me on the phone, man. I'm like in Prosper. I gotta come all the way. No, I need you. So I get here, and what I thought was gonna be a 5-10 minute conversation.
Sure.
Ended up being like an hour and a half long conversation. And he's telling me exactly what he's doing. He's taking pride at everything he's doing, or
and
wants
he needed
to
you
do.
to see.
And he wanted me to see it,
right?
And sometimes it's like, but then when I was here, once again, I was like, I'm so glad I came, and you could see the smile.
Right.
And you give them a little dap afterwards, so it's cool. You gotta have people on.
How long did it take you to get that core team together? I guess you'll always have a core team.
Yeah,
right?
you will, but like when I started, man, in this business, it was crazy. I actually had my core group, but I didn't know how to deal with them on my first project.
Right.
Because I was young. 22, 21, 22.
Yeah, leadership is something you think you learned in football but didn't.
No, not at all. I didn't know how to talk with them. It's different culture. Certain people, you can't say certain things.
Right.
You don't want to let things that you see, like surely in your mind, you're like, surely they're going to see that tile. It's not matching up. They're going to correct it. No,
they're not going to.
No, you got to nip it in the bud right now.
People who are afraid of conflict, and that's I think that's one of the reasons there's so few great leaders. So like when I look at Cuban, like that's a guy who's not afraid of conflict.
No.
Right. And the thing about conflict is when you avoid it, that's when the conflict shows up.
Right.
But if you walk in the room and go, you probably already noticed, and I apologize for telling you something you already know.
Right.
That tile is not right.
Right.
And then that gives them the opportunity to go, we already know, even though they don't.
Yeah.
Right. But it prevents this cascade of now you don't trust them. Now they don't trust you. Now something that wasn't a conflict, it was just a conversation, becomes a conflict later.
Right.
And that's where I think most leaders never become leaders because they're afraid of that conflict. They're always, and even whenever they're correcting something, they're always apologizing. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to hurt your feelings. No, listen, you guys are screwing this up.
Right.
And I taught you better.
100%.
And daddy ain't gonna come fix this every single day for you.
Right, right.
Time to grow up.
100%, 100%.
So.
Yeah, that's 100% right, spot on.
And that's a hard thing to learn.
Yeah. I didn't know that at times, so you know what I would do?
What's that?
I'd like, they're gonna do it. And then that little thing turns into a pile of little things when the project's done, and then I explode. How the heck you guys didn't see that from the beginning?
Right.
Well, guess what?
You saw it from the beginning.
You know, and I didn't take responsibility.
Right.
And I think that's one thing that, you know, people as a whole, they don't take responsibility. We're always placing blame.
Oh, so
well,
beautiful.
really, is it his fault that he missed that? Or is it really my fault for not
opening your mouth?
Right.
Look at all the things he did right.
Exactly.
And like we can take that tile as an analogy, right? You put one tile crooked, and then all of a sudden you keep laying that tile,
right? And
the whole room, everything shifted in the whole house,
right?
and you know, we're taking a real thing and using it as an analogy, but that's whether it's the tile or you're working with your assistant or working with your bank or working with your children.
Yeah,
it's like, we fix these things right away. I don't like. I have 5 kids. I'm a lucky man, right? Yeah. And I haven't. I mean, other than putting my son against a wall once in a while because not turning in his homework, right? Like I do almost no corrections. They're all teenagers. They're 14 to 20,
right?
And there's almost no corrections because from the day they were born, we correct everything, and then now,
right.
It never happens.
Yeah.
And that's what you built with your core team.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. You know, back then, you know, I would let that stuff go. And then, you know, then I remember blowing up and they left. And then the next day I'm leaving when I blow up on them. I'm leaving. I'm like, I'll see y'all tomorrow. Tomorrow never came. They never came back. Wait, what's going on? You know? Right. So I had to learn really quickly, like, what's going on? Okay, let me get them back. Let me say, okay, this isn't working. We got, you know, like, and then finally one of them told me, hey, just the way you talk to me makes me feel like I'm a dog.
Yeah.
And I had to really understand, like, no, at the time, no, that's not what I meant.
Right.
But how do you correct things? And when you do it and how you do it. Sometimes it's not what is being said, but how you say it. Right?
I had this English teacher in college where we were writing a paper and and they told me, you know, I said, well, that's not what I meant by it. And they go, it doesn't matter what you meant by it. It matters what I took by it.
Right.
And that's exactly that, right? It doesn't matter your intention when you're correcting people. It matters the way they receive that.
Right.
And then the other thing interesting about humans is we moved on. So I blow up at work and then I go home and have dinner and I've justified and rectified everything in my mind. And even I don't see these guys for a week. The next time I see them a week later, I'm good, but in their head, I'm still the angry person that walked out of that room a week ago.
Right.
There's been no growth in our relationship during that time.
Right.
So every time you walk out of that room, man, you better make sure everything's in a place that you're okay with it being in the exact same place for a week.
Exactly.
And it's hard to know that at 22.
Yeah, it is. But you learn real quick. You know, I had to learn. And it took me a good probably 1.5 to 2 years to understand and getting to the point of, you know, talking with, you know, well, I joined like Tony Robbins. I'd go to UPW. I would listen to, you know, motivational things, Jim Rohn, like everybody, Grant Cardone, everybody that I could think of, constantly immersing myself into and I still do that today.
Yeah, you just need Jim Rohn because the rest of them are just copying him.
Yeah.
Right? Grant Cardone, 10X, it changed the course of the tile that was laid, which is what brought us here today.
Right.
But it's just taking what Jim Rohn said and saying it again more aggressively.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Right. Tony Robbins has gone real deep now, but it's just Jim Rohn over and over again. You guys are the GOAT.
Yeah.
The greatest of all time.
For sure. Yeah, well, I mean, at the end of the day, going through all of those heartaches at the time, then turned me to being like, okay, let me analyze myself, let me take responsibility,
right.
and let me get my core team back, and that was another thing.
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry, and hey, let me learn how to do things better, and now it's like, hey, do you see something wrong with that?
Right.
Come here. Let me get on your side.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
what do you see? What do you see? Like, what do you see?
That's brilliant.
You know what I mean? Like, oh, I see this is wrong. Okay, cool. Can you correct that when you get a chance?
Right.
Versus, man, I can't believe you just did that. So,
Right.
and oh, by the way, I appreciate you, being here. I appreciate everything that you're doing. I appreciate, your attitude when you're showing up. It's different.
I think
It's
a
different.
great leader has to be predictable.
Right.
Now, it doesn't mean you're never going to lose your shit on them, because I do think that's important once in a
have
while.
to.
Sometimes people need it, right?
Yeah.
And when I do that, when that does happen, I'll say, listen, this is that occasional time before I get started where I have to lose my shit on you.
Yeah.
Are y'all ready?
Yeah.
And then I'll go. And then we end with, all right, now, Daddy loves you.
Yeah.
Right? Everybody come in and hug it out. And when I come back, this tile better be fixed.
Wow. Yeah.
So
I like that. The ending part. I never really thought of it. I think I do that, but I'm going to do it a little bit more consciously now. That's for sure.
I try to set it up. I'll go, this is what's about to happen, so that you're not surprised. And then the blow up, because occasionally you got to grab your son and put him against a wall and remind him that he's
Yeah.
And then, just like with your children, now we hug it out and go have ice cream together.
Right.
And then, but the tile better get fixed.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. Man, that's powerful.
Thanks.
Oh, that's powerful. I love it. This is great. So originally, all of this was just carports that was just open. So
You close this in.
Yes. So we closed it all in.
So there's this mansion from the 70s with no garage.
No garage.
Okay.
Well, you know what? It had a garage.
Was it detached?
It was over there.
Oh, okay.
Way over there. And it was only for one car. So
My house right now, the house that I'm currently in, has a separate garage. And it's which means every time it rains, I got to walk all the way over there
yeah.
like a ding dong. I'm like, I should have bought a nicer house.
This one here, well, you can buy this one.
I can.
Well, we got, over there, you have to literally walk a mile almost, like coming up from way over there to come through here. So I'm like, how can we change this up? And I don't know, it just came to me like, hey,
So
we need
this
to
is going to be enclosed. Is this going to be open with a carport, or is that going to be a garage as well too?
So this is enclosed. You got your 2-car garage here. If you, that's kind of like going to be your mud room over there. This is going to be like a walkthrough. You can also park a vehicle right here. So if you got a long Rolls Royce or something like that, or extended cab, truck, then this is the spot for it, and then you'll have this other one as well. So you got 2 enclosed garage, 2 not enclosed garages.
And then another one.
And then this, actually over here, we decided to enclose it, and this is gonna be living space. So
I love that.
this was the original garage. That's where
So
the
you'll
garage
make this
door
as
was.
like a second house.
Yeah, this is like your second house.
apartment.
You can make it an efficiency, an apartment.
I have one of those at my house, and we use the heck out of it.
Yeah.
We have agents coming in from all over the country, always staying there, and we just bought the property next door, so we're building our dream house there.
Yeah.
And that was the most. I'm like, listen, I need an apartment because I don't want these people staying in my house.
In your house, yeah. You know what? That's interesting. I like shoot.
Plus, with the kids getting older,
yeah.
like I want a reason for them to come home
Right.
and not be uncomfortable.
Right. That's a good idea. Ugh.
And then also, once they're all moved out, I'm never wearing pants in my house again. So
That's right.